All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm going to do a slightly different setup today. I'm usually, adding a video and talking about it. It's usually like Breakpoint video, so I'm going to just shout Breakpoint anyway. Because, well, I was watching a video just now. It was a Breakpoint video, and again, people, I guess, giving their take on the economy right now, stuff that's going on, the struggles that they're kind of going through. So, instead of just reacting to that video, what I want to do in this instance is try to make sense of all this information, right? We're just watching stuff, but are we being able to piece it together? And can we find somewhat of, if it's not a solution, because it's very hard to find solutions, aid when it comes to data of, okay, why this may be happening. It might not necessarily be help the people directly, because they actually need for somebody else, a financial advisor, to give them information on how they can better the situation. But for us, for when I do these type of videos, and I've got a title here that says cost of living crisis, what the data shows and means. It could, like, for some people, it's almost like when I speak and give my point, it's like I'm blaming the individuals, as if it wasn't the powers that be that have pushed, price, or that they're being forced themselves to push up prices due to supplies that also being pushed to put up prices, and being pushed to push up prices, being forced to push up prices, which is pretty much the domino effect, right? So this is what I've done here, guys, right? So here I've essentially let me just make this bigger here. Perfect. I've essentially because I'm just trying to think to myself, when I'm looking at these videos and seeing people complain, I'm asking myself, how many of these people would actually claim? So this is exactly what I typed in when I was watching it. How many people in the UK actually claim to be good with personal finance? Now, obviously, always trying to make sure that this information is, or as you can see, I've searched it. I try to, you will see some AI generated results as well, but we also try to confirm and ensure that it is cited from reputable sources. So when I asked this question, basically, right, here's what I got, guys. I got this information. It says in 2018, the I guess MAPS financial well-being survey found that 57% of those of working age felt very confident managing their personal finances, compared to 48% in 2021. So 50%, so 57% felt of those working age felt confident about their personal finances and like being able to manage them, compared to 48% in 2021. So this is obviously demonstrated a significant drop in financial confidence following the pandemic. And it's interesting that it's saying the pandemic. Hold on, let me just see something here as well, guys. I just searched something. So here, for example, right? Hold on. Let me just see this. Hold on. How many? Okay, cool. So I'm actually looking at something else here, guys. I say how many people. Okay, cool. So I'm trying to find out. So I've typed that, but I'm gonna read out something here as well, guys. Right? I'm looking on another screen, basically, and it's mentioned that UK, according to the number for all finances research, nearly half of UK adults, or 44%, are now living in financially vulnerable circumstances, which indicates a significant portion of the population struggles with personal finance. So, and this is 2024, I believe. Don't quote me, basically, but I'll just say it again: nearly half of UK's adults, or 44%, are now living in financial vulnerable circumstances, which indicates a significant portion of the population struggles with personal finance. Additionally, Pay.UK's research reveals that while 78% of UK adults consider themselves financially literate, listen to this: 71% of respondents do not know how how a savings account works. So there's clearly a discrepancy there. So again, I'm going to say that one more time. Research reveals that while 78% of UK adults consider themselves financially literate, so they believe that they're good and they're financially literate and they know what they're doing, 78% of UK adults believe that. 71% of the respondents do not know how a savings account works. When you look at the I guess the idea, the process, right, of saving, of personal finance, right, and what's included in personal finance. The first thing is obviously being able to make, being able to make money, and then savings and so forth. But being able to make the money, and then savings, and then going into stuff like investments, and then the other stuff. So the fact that they don't know which is a pillar within personal finance, 71% of respondents don't know how our savings account works. Now, I'm going to try to just make this, I'm going to make it simple, right? Try my best to try to simplify it, right? So savings account is pretty much, it's usually created, provided, whatever, by banks. Get your money, put it into a savings account. If they offer, depending on, if it's a savings interest account, they'll give you interest, so forth. But there's other ones, investment, but we won't go there yet, because investment accounts is not some stuff that people is actually as popular. But you put the money in the savings account basically, and then they will offer you interest. Most banks do offer you interest, especially. It's essentially, I don't know the ins and outs, but I believe when you give them your money for them to custody, there's automatic contracts being created, which will involve banks using certain policies, rules to use your money to make more money, right? So I believe once you just give, I can only assume, I'm not claiming to be an expert here, but I can only assume you give your money to them, and as soon as you give it to them, there's a contract in place. And it's a legally binding contract, which first off will let you know, because people said they don't know how it actually works. You put your money in the savings account, great. The first thing is that money now is not yours. If for those that don't know how savings account works, I'm now giving you, I'm trying to give you a well-rounded and I guess holistic explanation that you might not think about, stuff you might not think about. You just see it as, okay, savings accounts, you put it into a bank, and then they give you some sort of interest, basically. Done. But you got to ask yourself, why is it that when you try to go there, let's say you put in, I don't know, 5K, you now try to go there 3 months later, try to take out 4 or even the whole 5. Ask yourself, why are they asking you, what do you need it for, and so forth. Well, they're able to ask you that instead of just giving to you straight away. They're able to ask you that stuff because you're asking them for them. Why should I give you your money? Now, in your mind, you're like, what are you talking about? I was reading a YouTube comment. I remember somebody saying, I was so angry because I asked my bank to give me the money, and then they were telling me, they're asking questions now, and then I was asking, why are you asking me all this stuff? Oh, is it back? Looks like it's back. Okay. Hopefully that's just a minor technical issue. Okay. So I'll just repeat that there. So the person, in the comments saying, why are my banks now asking me about what I want to do with my money in capital letters? I had to respond and say, well, the first thing you need to understand is it's not your money. So of course they're going to ask you, what are you talking about? How can you come to me? I didn't get you in a headlock to come say, come and put your money in here. Obviously it's more coercion, right? It's more, what they're doing is more coercion as opposed to forcing. They didn't force us. Just how in C teenager. I don't like saying the numbers because it might. I don't want my video to get. Anyway, C teenager. when that happened, people were saying stuff like this. Force. I'm like, no one forced you. Coerced. That sounds about right. It was, they whatever, and it was almost like it was take it or leave it. Almost like if you leave it, issues for you. If you take it, then you're even gonna be caught. It's the same thing how the banks are moving. So I have to just let the person know that first of all, that's not your money. So of course, they're gonna ask you for it because you're asking for a significant amount, right? So these are the stuff that I guess when they say they don't know how savings accounts work, that's the first thing you don't know is that it's not your money. Now, I just want you to know this. Oh, but I was able to get it out. Yes, because I don't want to go too far because I'm now touching into other areas of like where when people mention stuff like pyramid schemes / Ponzi schemes, basically, I want to let you know that when you talk about other asset classes, maybe nascent asset classes, and you're like, oh, this is a Ponzi, and it's not, and it's dangerous. It's like people are gonna lose their money. It needs to be regulated because all this. There's almost everything's a Ponzi, guys. I won't lie to you. There's just some that are regulated and some that are regulated Ponzi's, and then some that are not, pretty much. But that is essentially the first part, right? Which is it's not your money, unfortunately, right? Second thing is once you get into that contract, you're giving them from there. They will then get clearance from whoever it needs to be. I don't know, government officials, regulators, whatever, right? Financial regulators. They get information. They get clearance in order to carry out fractional reserve banking, right? So that is that's a whole like process in itself. But if I was just to focus on, if I just honing on the lending part, right? So just to make sure what, again, because I want to focus on your money for you. So that's what you care about. You don't care about what banks are doing with other areas and whatever, or departments within their setup, right? Within the organization. What you want to know is what they're doing with your money, right? And how the savings account that you set up, how does that work and how is it affecting what could impact you? Cool. Fractional reserve lending is when you give them your money, right? And I can only assume they do it straight off the bat because you've now walked in. No one forced you. They maybe coerced you due to how the world works, and you need a bank in order to get this and get credit and being able to get paid and all that stuff there. Okay, but again, don't ever use the word force. They didn't force us to use banks. I just want to let you know because I'm saying the same thing. They didn't force me to use a bank. No one put a gun to my head and told me to come to the bank when I was 17 and I walked in. Nobody did that, right? So once they get your money, they're now gonna like naturally offer you certain stuff. One of them is interest. Oh, do you want money back for this? Cool. That allows for a decent exchange, meaning, okay, you come to me. I didn't tell you to come here. You just came to get my services. I've now taken your money. I'm happy to, like custody the money for you, custody your assets for you, right? Essentially, just sign this paper, which gives us certain rights. You just signed away your money, by the way. So all you are now is a legal guardian. You don't own it. You're just a legal guardian, right? You can come and have a look at it when you want. Put your card in. Oh, babe, are you okay? Almost like you think you have a child. Are you okay, babe? Okay, cool. And you can leave again. So you're a legal guardian of your money, but it's their money. So they now can fractionally use your money and lend it out to whoever they need it to be. So it could be, I don't know, Jane around the corner, Eddie in Swinsdale. Let me just be careful. Preston. They come, yeah. Again, the credit system, because it's all tied in. The credits, they use the credit system to find out if Eddie from Preston is he financially responsible enough for us to give him this loan? Basically, the loan that they're giving him, you put in 5K, he needs £2,000. Where do you think they get that money from? Do you think banks just magically have money? They're taking money that you gave them, which is not your money, but no, it's no longer your money. They're taking that money, they're giving it to Eddie, and they tell Eddie to give them back interest. So that's just one part. That's one way they're able to make, make money basically. But I won't go on the other parts because this is mainly just for you and how savings accounts work. You then go and look into your account. You're seeing they're telling you that, oh yeah, this it's usually done. I think it's a yearly or something like that. Interest are paid, but you can go in. They'll let you know how much interest you've now made on the money. You're feeling good about yourself, right? Because you're putting 5K. They're telling you by the end of the year, I guess 5%. You can make 5%. So you're feeling like, okay, this is really really good. I'm now going to get extra money, right? But it's not terrible because at the end of the day, they're working. They're putting your money to work, and then because you don't know what to do with it, they're putting the money to work, and then they're saying thank you for giving us your money, which is now ours, which we can make more money. And because you've given us that opportunity to do so, we're now thanking you. We don't have to do this, but we're now thanking you by giving you 5% interest off of your money, basically. Again, that's not yours. So savings accounts from the surface are pretty simple, very, very simple. You walk into a bank, you give them your money, they give you an interest rate. Bob's your uncle. You guys now have an agreement done, but you don't know the stuff that is going on behind the scenes. And because if you do, you probably will be telling them they need to give you more cut. Because again, you then go to them and ask them for the money, and they're asking you bare questions. When you gave them the money initially, they didn't ask you many questions. It was very straightforward, right? When you're looking at it on how it worked from I want to bring business to them. It's essentially what it is. This whole thing is an investment business. I want to bring business to them, and the business and the opportunity I'm bringing to them is my money. Most people have to bring an idea and sell it. I'm just bringing my money to you. Like banks are just like, it's just crazy how we've been. Again, I'm not talking about just you guys. I'm not going to focus. We're all in the same boat together. It's funny how we've been like conditioned to think. A bank doesn't have to think about it. Would you give your money to somebody, right, that you're not sure what they're gonna, if you don't know much about them yet, you're not too sure. Well, I guess with banks, they come across reputable and trusted to an extent, but still, even if the person was reputable and trusted, would you give that type of money just to somebody like that and be like, yep, you hold it for me, and do what you want with it, and just let me know how you're gonna want to know every single time what's going on. In fact, you won't even do it. You won't even give them that. You might want to give them in what banks do, which is might going to give them infractions. This is just how they operate. So that's like the first thing there, right? When it comes to people not knowing about how savings accounts work. Savings accounts, I mean, when you savings accounts is very, very simple, but you just don't know how much you're losing out. And if you did know, and then were able to also be given information on alternatives, ways that you could get returns using from your own money, I guarantee you won't be using banks. You won't be using banks at all. Why the hell would you use a bank when you can get 5 times that? Let me just be safe and just say you can get easily double that. Easily double that. And in these other asset classes, but banks are very just convenient for people. You don't have to do much. People don't want to do much work. But that doesn't mean because, okay, so that's the reason why I need to give it to them, because why? I don't have to do much work. Whereas all these other asset classes, it's just work I don't want to do. That is not actually the case. It's more risk, but there's some that are almost very similar to banks. You don't have to do any work. You don't have to do any work. If we use the stock market, for example, right? There was a point in time when it was difficult. The barriers to entry were quite high. With banks, you just walk in, they're just taking, of course they're going to take your money. Why wouldn't they? What the hell? Even if it's drug money, they don't care. I'm gonna lie to you. They don't care. Whereas with stocks, there was a point in time where you had to get your only way to get into stocks was through a stockbroker. All those now have been these like entry points and these guardrails have been completely just smashed, like shattered, right? In the new age where we're now able just to download digital applications, and then they are sophisticated enough to get us into an asset class very, very quickly without any issues, without having to divulge on too much information or paperwork, all this stuff. It's just straightforward, and back you're there within, could be a few minutes, right? So these things have really, really helped. And this is, again, this all you pretty much, if you want to be safe, the way you trust banks is the way you probably should be trusting an Apple or a Meta, because all they have to just prove to you is that I'm not gonna die out anytime soon. I keep innovating. I'm thinking of new ideas, new products, and so forth, and that would give you your cue to, okay, I probably need to put my money here, because wow, it's gonna bring me more. The S&P is always outperformed banks. What the hell? But again, we don't know this stuff. So essentially, it's like a savings account is a savings account. But if you're able to like unlearn what you've been taught, in order to start viewing stuff like investment, because they also do investment accounts. That's the thing about it. This is the thing about banks. That's what I'm saying. Like they're very, very wide ranging in their services, so it makes it very easy for people to trust them. I get it, and just to go to them, because they don't like, there is no stockbroker. The equivalent to a stockbroker within a bank is a bank teller, or sorry, a banking advisor. That's just there, just talks to you about some very, very simple, easy. But why wouldn't it be easy? You're bringing value to them for no reason. They've not earned any of this. You're just walking up into the headquarters, giving them money free. Like, so how they're offering investment accounts? Don't get an investment account in bank. Just create your own investment account, basically, or set up your own investment account. Yes, there's risks involved and stuff like that, but what's the, if that's the case and that's what you're worried about, then you might as well. It's not a financial advice, right? But put 2/3 of your money, if you want to be safe and you want to just be lazy, put 2/3 into the bank, and then the other other third, put it into yourself, put it into investment in stocks. And the great thing is, the digital applications have become more and more sophisticated, where it's just so simple. Robinhood is very simple to use, guys. Revolut, very simple to use, guys. So many of them are so easy to use. They're all like multifunctional now, where they provide you with the ability to buy stocks, or just bank how you would with a traditional bank. You can buy commodities, silver and gold stuff, palladium, all this. You can get into again, more nascent assets like crypto and so forth. It's an array, right? It's an array of opportunities you have. So saving account, it's people do it because it's just what they're just known, and they're more trusted by. So if I just go on, because I don't want to, I think I've explained that well enough, basically, as to how savings accounts work. But they're not complex, but you need to know. It's very important for you to know. To me, the most important thing you need to know for savings accounts, right, is that when the money is exchanged and sent over to the bank, it is now no longer your money. It is now officially no longer your money. It's the same for anything. I believe the same. I've not looked into it, but it makes so much sense if I'm just using my logic. If I'm using just common sense. Put your money into into the investment, into the stocks and shares. It's not. I will believe that's not your money anymore. You have to be careful. So I'm saying that's why you got to make sure that you're putting into a good company that's going to perform, or is more likely to perform, right? Doing the data, doing your own research, finding out, okay, what who the investors are, and so checking out their financial accounting, stuff like that. Then you make a decision. Great, get in, but just know that this might not be your money, because this is how the world works. Once you use these platforms, you're automatically entering a contract. We don't read. We're not going to read the whole. We ain't got time for that. I have to go and make. I've got to go out there and make money. So I don't blame people for not knowing, because why? These people are now charged or being paid to now manage our money, and they are. I wouldn't say mismanaging, because they're not mismanaging. There's times when they are mismanaging, definitely. When and that's the times when stuff goes pear shaped, and businesses have to like what is it, file for like, I don't know, like liquidate and so forth, and like file for insolvency, whatever the case may be. But usually I'll say it's us ourselves that are mismanaging our money, because we're giving it to people that we've not done proper like research on. So anyway, let me move on. So it says additionally here, it says the discrepancy highlights, which is discrepancy of 78% of UK adults considering themselves financially literate, and 71% of the respondents not knowing how a saving account works, right? The discrepancy of that highlights a substantial number of people in the UK who may not be as adept at managing personal finance as they believe. So I guess what I would essentially say is just go and type in the, I don't know, the when money was created, the inception of money. Go and type that into YouTube. At the same time, go and type in how banks work. If you want to know how savings accounts work and all the rest of them, go and find out how go and look up how banks work. Right? Go and look up again as well. If you don't know, go and look up how I was gonna say 401ks. What do you call them here? Pension schemes here, which is 401ks the equivalent, which is in America. Go and look how pension scheme work. Pension scheme, you might not get. I don't know how much information you get from that, basically. So you definitely might want to look for that on YouTube and try to find those that can help you uncover the undercover let me just use the word underhanded tactics being used to grab your money, siphon it into certain areas which you don't know, make the money, and then that's their money, by the way. Same with personal. I keep saying this. I'm saying this for so many videos. If banks are the devil, what are pension schemes, man? Because at these banks, they'll give you a hard time for getting your money out. But pension schemes, you can't get your money out until you're old and gray. This is criminal, bro. This is criminal. Think about it. Until you're old and gray, and then the amount they've given you, they'll be telling you, in this day and age, right now, oh geez, like the pension scheme is done. It's all, everything depends on the economy, and the fact that the economy is bad. Those trying to get money from their pensions, bro, they're more screwed than drivers, bro. Okay, so let me just move on, guys. So that was the first thing I had to look into right now, right? So just finding out, that information. So next thing, right, as we piece this together from the cost of living crisis and how things are, like, how is it the case that so many people are complaining and everybody seems like they've been caught with their pants down, basically, and just don't know what to do right now? How is that the case? Cool. The next thing I had to ask, the next thing I had to search up was how many people in the UK are invested in assets, just in general, right? And what I got was in 2025, right, an estimated 29 million UK adults, or 54% of the population, have invested in assets. This is an increase from 51% in 2024 and 42% in 2023. So it's just been gradually going up. It's actually quite a bigger increase between 2023 and 2024. Here's the breakdown of key investing trends. Stocks and shares are over a quarter, which is 26% of UK adults have invested in stocks and shares, making it the most popular investment type. When it comes to the generations, 2/3, which is 66% of Gen Z, have invested before, and a significant number of investors are from older generations as well. That's quite a lot, by the way. 66% of Generation Z have invested before. Why is this? All pieces together because barriers to entry are lower. They're able to find Robinhood just Robinhood invest straight away. Gender differences: 60% of men have invested before compared to 46% of women. And then regional differences is 2 out of 3 Londoners, which is 66%, have invested at some point. So it's essentially letting us know that essentially half of the population are invested and half are not. This makes all the sense in the world now as to the amount of people that are coming on. Because I'm trying to piece it together. How is it so much people? So much people are coming out and complaining. I already knew that the gap between the amount of the number, right, in regards to I guess from like percentage standpoint, the number of rich people compared to the number of poor people obviously is ridiculous, like disparity basically. Like there's so much people that are poor. But what we said, not just because you are deemed poor, right, doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have good personal finance. This is letting me know, to me, some people that are stepping just onto the next level of personal finance, basically, right, which is going past the savings, being good with savings now, going past that one and now going to, okay, cool, let me now look into investing before I go into the other stuff, protection, all that stuff there. Investing now. It's letting us know only 50% of people. I mean, obviously, it says it's going to be, it's more 46%, but either way, right? It only became very, very clear this year. Last year it was 51%, which is pretty much half and half. So half people are invested, half people are not. It just makes it more and more. It's giving us more. Again, this came from Finder, by the way, guys. You can see here it says investment statistics, how many people invest in the stock market, and it's giving you the exact same 54%. That's where that's come from. If you go down, let's see, investment statistics in 2024, 23% of the UK adult population, approximately 12.5 million people, actually invest in the stock market. Okay, so 23% in 2024 invested in the stock market. Interesting. It says, according to Aberdeen's Tell Sid and Tell Him Again report, only 8% of wealth held by UK adults is investments. Only 8% of wealth. Jeez. Yeah, guys, not enough people are invested. And I'm not saying this is what's going to save people from the cost of living crisis. What I'm definitely trying to somewhat insinuate is those that are invested seem to not be complaining as much. Those that have diversified, are not complaining as much. Whereas I can see how people that are struggling, that don't have anywhere else to turn, they're complaining about jobs, which is job market is falling, but they're complaining about jobs. Whereas some people can just chill for a bit and not have to work, and then, look later on. So they've got something to live off because why? They've been able to build up, an emergency fund, which allows them to just chill, look at the state of the market, whatever, and then, or I guess, plan, strategize, and then come back and try to, do what they need to do to better the situation. Whereas there's a large cohort of people that are just don't have this, so they're going to naturally jump online and complain. So when I'm saying this stuff like, oh, cost of living crisis is your fault, I don't mean it to be, insensitive, but I always have to ask, how is your personal finance? It's just wondering, is it going to, again, let's find data to make this stuff make sense. Is what I'm saying, is it fair or is it unfair? I keep repeating, cost of living crisis, how the inflation rates and everything is not, it's absolutely out of this world. They have messed up. They've messed up. That doesn't mean that we can't and shouldn't be helping ourselves and taking care of ourselves, making sure that we're good. It was our responsibility. It was our responsibility to do that. It's always been and always will be our responsibility to take care of our own. That's what I'm saying. They need to fix up. They need to fix up the prices though and all that stuff there, because it's crazy. So moving on. Don't want to stay on that too long. So and then I had to now, okay, that kind of gave me more clarity. So the next question I wanted to ask again, because I'm working chronologically here, that's the only way for this to make sense. I then asked, how many people in the UK are invested in crypto? Why am I focusing on specifically on this asset class? Well, let me jump to this one right here, right at the end. Right, I had to. This is why I did, because I knew people were going to think you jumped here, but then there's many others, right, that you could have looked into before that. Well, the thing about crypto, right, is that what people will find is, first off, when it comes to liquid assets, it's the most liquid asset. And what I mean a liquid asset, guys, is being able to turn that asset, whatever it is, into liquid quickly, liquid cash. That's why, though housing is like the most trusted when it comes to that long term and all that stuff there, and its use case is amazing. Housing, you cannot turn into liquid straight away. You're gonna have to, a whole process to go through before you can now say sold, I've now got the money. And even that might take certain business working days, so the liquid, being able to get liquid cash from housing is just a no-go. When it comes to I don't know, like gold and so forth, I mean, that's big to carry. So like its transferability with gold is just a problem, I mean, with housing as well, because housing is just where it is. It can't be moved. Same with gold, basically, right? But gold, yes, it's more easier to turn into liquid cash, but people don't carry gold around, right? So you need to go and get it from where it is, whether it be your house, whether it be in a safe, a safety deposit somewhere. Cool, but it's not easy again to get it into to turn into liquid cash straight away. And the rest, the only closest one is stocks, basically. But this is why I'm using crypto as an example. But on top of that as well, when you look at this, for example, it says, let's see, which asset class is most profitable? Okay, stock. Okay. Okay, so this is 25th. So maybe this was this year. Actually, this still doesn't. Okay, maybe because this could be overall. Actually, this could be actually from when it started, which makes sense. Stocks has been around forever. And Bitcoin and crypto is quite small. It's not been here long enough, so they wouldn't have made the profit, wouldn't have been as much. But in terms of if it was a time frame, if they now compared, the years, let's say 10 years, the last 10 years to the last 10 years of each asset class, I would if I'm not mistaken, the Bitcoin is the winner. This is another reason why I'm using crypto and I'm mentioning it. Because usually I like to just focus on personal finance. What I'm trying to, this stuff here, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not my thing. I'm not telling people what to do. Tax man, I've never told you I'm in any of this stuff. I don't know what, I'm just giving you, I'm a reporter. I've been reporting on this stuff for some time and never really documented it, but I've been really, really, really like lasered in since 2020. So the information I'm giving right now, I didn't know this before 2020, just to let you know. Once they, whoever they are, sat us down in 2020, most of us had nothing to do. This is what I done. I started looking. I looked. You forced me to do this. I didn't do this before, but I'm like, snap, money, banks, investment assets. Just I don't want to say anything else because I was going to say something else, but I forgot. I've made up a name for it. See, teenager. So I'm looking at the C, and what was happening in 2020? Why did this? So you just thought the powers that be forced us to sit down, and then some of us chilled, some of us, and then some of us just looked into stuff, just inquisitive. So what is this? So best asset. Oh, look, you see, as you mentioned, Bitcoin. Here's one of the reasons. Oh, and it says last 10 years. I just said this. The last 10 years. So it is. So that's one reason why I'm mentioning it, because I'm mentioning it because people are looking for money right now. They're looking for money. Which one can bring me the most money right now? Yes, it can also bring you the most. It can also experience downturns quickly. But if you've been like looking and studying and reporting on it, like I have, right? Again, I'm not saying I'm investing. I'm just saying studying it and looking at it, you'll know this information. You realize, and you realize to yourself, okay, if that was the case, I need to really look into this, because you hear a lot of, again, the majority of people, sorry, only it's like 50-50 in terms of who is invested in assets and who isn't. I can only assume there's when it comes to how many people are in crypto / Bitcoin, it's really small. It must be a slither. I want to say like 5%. I'm guessing, but I'm about to find out basically. So let's see what this says here. Look, first off, as we mentioned above, Bitcoin was the best performing asset of the decade. The data examined the 17 top performing assets between 2011 and 2021 and found that since 2011, Bitcoin's cumulative gains have exceeded 20. Is that 20 million percent? This is correct. Is that correct? 2 would have been 2,000 would be that 20,000. This is 20 million percent. Have exceeded as well. Oh my days. So this is why I'm mentioning this, guys, because everybody's complaining about cost of living. You see why I'm using it? Again, the first one, because it's liquid. You're able to convert it into money quickly if you need it. You see why I'm mentioning this? On the top of that as well, it's the best performing. So if you wanted to, I need money, it's never going to be overnight. It's nothing is you if you're trying to get into investments and get something overnight, I promise you're going to fail. I promise you're going to fail. But if you were to try to get into, I don't know, let's say you have £1,000, you don't trust, because everybody's complaining, I'm not going to get into this, I'm not going to get into that, into this, cryptos, this, I've heard this, I've heard about that. Do you know stuff I've suffered on? The stuff I've tried to get into and I've failed on and I've lost money. And these are traditional setups. This is not, I'm not talking about crypto, I'm talking traditional stuff. Some stuff I've got in, I'm like, what the hell? And then I got pittance back, and it's like, wow, thousands lost. Again, traditional. People talk, you can lose your money in crypto. You can lose your money in crypto is what they say. You can lose your money anywhere. You can use your money in stuff that they quote unquote regulated. They talk this talk to you. This is just for those that don't know, that it's easy to have you. It's easy to condition you. It's easy to condition us. But when you do the research, you realize yourself, bro, this regulation stuff is bulldoze crap. They're trying to they're trying to completely confuse you. So though you could be focused, they want to have you digress somewhere else and never find the truth. Because if you find the truth, you won't be complaining about cost of living. So to be fair, when I'm looking at right now, it makes me personally, I can never give personal financial advice, but you cannot be saying stuff like this can't be trusted, I'm not going to go into it, I've got 1,000, I'll not even put £10 into it, when it's the best performer. To put £10, you don't care, put money you don't care about, put £10 into it. When I'm doing it, I had to go in here, I went into this one here, I was using banks all my life. I had to learn about to realize pension schemes, the stuff I'm talking to you about, as if I'm not telling you to get into this stuff but I wasn't doing the same thing. No, I'm having to practice what I preached. I was in this stuff I'm telling you about. I was in them. Still am pretty much, basically, right? But pension schemes, I definitely stop pension schemes. Are you crazy? Pension schemes is for the devil. It's for the worse than the devil. Pension schemes, never. I'm never using them. I don't care what anybody says, especially when there's no guarantee. People talk about, and you're hearing people right now of a certain age range telling you of a certain generation telling you that their pension wasn't that much. The pension pot is how it's been diminished this much, because they're not telling you properly. It's not. No, man. They're tricking. All of that stuff depends on the economy. If the economy is good, your pension scheme will be okay. But when the economy is at terrible hole, you need to find somewhere else that can help you. Maintain the value of your asset, because you'll be screwed if you leave it in the quote unquote incapable hands of people. Well, I mean, I guess it's not incapable, because they're just they're just scraping off the top, basically. And the top they're scraping off is way more than what you know it is it to be. 10 times more than what they're giving you. So 20 million%, man. How about that? How about them apples? What is it? Which asset class is the highest return? Okay, so large caps. So it's large cap stocks, so it's S&P 500. Okay, I see. Okay, yeah, and then small caps is the Russell. If you know about this stuff, this is the Russell 2000 index, basically. International stocks, well, developed stocks. Okay, what's EM? I don't know what EM is. M stocks. All right. Again, so this is I'm guessing these are all in total since they've existed, and it's not focusing on a specific time frame. Whereas this one made it clear. This one made it clear within the last 10 years, you know, Bitcoin, and you'll find that there's some others, crypto assets that even perform better than Bitcoin. Well, as of now, anyway, it's performing better than Bitcoin but they have peaks and troughs basically. But we'll just stick to Bitcoin and say, yeah, just make it simple. So that's why I'm mentioning that, guys. I'm mentioning how many people are invested in crypto, because people are looking for the fastest horse in the race. Well, you're looking at it right now. Whether you want to get into it, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just letting you know, because I can't keep opening up my YouTube and watching Britpoint and seeing a whole load of Brits, people of my gen and younger, just going absolutely wild, complaining this, that, and the third, when all we have to basically ask ourselves is, did we plan enough in those amazing days when the sun was shining? Life was good, everybody was out, kids were swinging, birds were chirping. Were we planning? Did we have a plan? Because if you fail to plan, guys, you've heard this before, man. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So you can't, UK government and the lawmakers, whatever, please, and the financial guys, some economists, whatever, whoever's making these decisions, please, we need to chill the tax. Let me just say tax, man, which is wrapped up into all of you, whoever's involved. Tax, man, release the chains. It's too much. You're gonna, but I promise you, they're gonna be taxing us to breathe. They're going to be, and they're gonna have to. Why? Because when we're trying to, people are there watching AI. AI is not, no, I can tell that's an AI video because the way they're breathing. So when they find out that, oh wow, it's important, it's an important thing, they'll start taxing us to breathe. So you guys need to release the chain, relax. Everybody's running. If they're not running, they're complaining. There's only a small group of people that are not. But there's going to come a time when you're going to force them out, because you just want to just suck everything dry. It's crazy. It's so, honestly, so crazy. I'm always trying to let people know I'm not there. What's this? Oh, is that what I just read? Okay, cool. I'm not there. 10 years ago, if you invested 1,000 in Bitcoin 2015, your investment will be worth 421,000. That's a 400% increase. There's more. Well, I don't even know. I don't know the numbers. I don't even care. If you invested 15 years ago, if you invested 1,000 Bitcoin, your investment would be at worth. Is that billionaire status? Jeez. Guys, please. All right, let's move on. Just crazy. All right, so now the next thing I want to basically cover is, now I've given you that information. I'm trying to work chronologically again, right? We need to take the steps, right, to get to, because we already know what the issue is. People are, lack of funds. The inflation is crazy. Cost of living is its Siamese twin. They're just moving in tandem. Where is if it's not a solution, where can we find respite? Where can we find respite? And for me, I'm letting people know that if you do the homework like I did, whether I'm invested or not, I've not said, taxman, you're not hearing anything from me, but Guys, do your homework, your research. If you don't want to get into it straight away yet, here are good reasons here. Well, I'm first going to say the reasons people give for not getting into crypto. Again, I'm focusing on this asset class simply because it's the most liquid asset class, and at the same time, it brings you the best returns. So the logic is there. The logic is there for you. There's no two ways about it. The logic is there. If you don't want to get in, it's entirely up to you. You want to be fighting the barriers to entry to real estate, entirely up to you. I wouldn't advise that if you don't have enough money. I would probably advise you maybe look into REITs, guys. If you don't, real estate investment trusts. If you can't, and it's too expensive, look into REITs. Please go and Google that. Look into REITs. It's stocks and shares thing. So it's, in case you want to run away from crypto, no problem. It's up to you. I'm just trying to, again, this is all to let people, please just be invested, or at least learn about it. I'm not, again, it's not financial advice, but learn, like read, focus on this thing, right? Because I believe is it not the third pillar within the whole personal finance area, investing. If it's not the second, it's the third. Look into investing, guys. Because if you had this, knowledge, and then you took the right steps, I believe half of you will not. I believe it will be 25% of people that I'm seeing online going wild like this. That's just what I believe, but I could be completely wrong. And I'm just a random guy. I'm not an expert. Don't subscribe to my channel for personal finance or money or finance. No, clearly most of you are like, I never. Why is he mentioning this? I was never going to. Fantastic. Even if I get better, I don't, because this is not my bread and butter. I just happen to be somebody that I can't sleep at night unless finances are good. Put it that way. So people like that, if you have them in your life, guys, ask questions. Just because they can be some sort of effective, or let me reword that, some sort of aid when it comes to you looking for a source of information to help better your situation, right? So that's why you need to be around people like this that are very prudent, like very financially responsible. Anyway, if you love crypto and don't like to be challenged, you aren't going to like this one. Okay, so 5 reasons to avoid cryptocurrency is cryptocurrency feels like a giant Ponzi scheme. I've not even read this one yet. You know that? How did that? And it's funny, it's in my title. Hold on, let me just see something, guys. Just give me a second. Let me see this one here. Okay, so I'll read this one out, but then I've also got on this other screen something else I want to read out. But it says 5 reasons is crypto feels like a giant Ponzi scheme. Is there more items? Is it simple? No. There's no underlying asset. It's speculation, not investing. Already tax funds. You are trying to make up for lost time. All this stuff is fair. I'm not even gonna argue say that they're wrong. I will though bring up debating. I'll debate them basically, right? So I'm gonna bring up points in order to give an opposing perspective, right? So anyway, let me just move on this. Okay, it's cool. So people often avoid getting into crypto for several reasons. One major concern is the speculative nature of crypto investments. Sorry. I want to, should I use it? Let me use this one due to the fact that it's here in front of you guys. I'm going to use this one here, but hopefully I think they have the same information. All right. So cryptocurrency feels like a giant Ponzi scheme. So I'm going to make it, this is just a simple explanation, guys. Again, please. I'm not a world-class orator. Never claimed to be, never will be. This is just a person just like you. I keep saying it. You've seen my channel, what I do. I'm realizing everybody, in order for people in order for us to move as one and essentially try to ensure that we are not suffering as a people, we need to be giving each other insights on what each other is doing, right? And see where someone else can learn and where you can learn from somewhere else. Wherever gaps in our information that we don't have, hopefully we can help each other to fill that in, basically. So that's essentially why I essentially do what I do, basically. So this is not a, oh yeah, subscribe to my channel type stuff. No, please just get the information and then go and find out more stuff for yourself. All right, so words of Ponzi scheme. I'm not even going to read this stuff. What I'm going to say is I'm going to just challenge it straight away. Cryptocurrency feels like a giant Ponzi scheme. Okay, cool. So they're saying it's, this word is this, to me, the operative word is this one right here. It feels like a giant Ponzi scheme, right? I'm not even gonna have to deny and tell you why it's not and whatever the case may be. I can't tell you if it is or not. What I can tell you though is that every single thing we are in is a Ponzi scheme. I just told you about banks, didn't I? What did I tell you about banks? They're using, pretty much it's first come first serve. So the people that have been able to benefit the most are those that are essentially entered into the banking sector first. So we're just talking about, I guess we're talking about like the big, I don't want to mention any names, but for example, I mean, I was going to say one, but it's going to make it obvious basically, but it doesn't matter any. JPM, right? That's one there, I'll say the R's, children. I'm going to just say like that. I'm going to say like that, R, and then, yeah. I'll say the B, and then, I love burgers. I don't know why. I don't know if it makes it. I'd rather not say it because I'm not. This is not my business. It's above my pay grade, basically. But when you get into a sector first, guys, and you find something that is potentially very lucrative, you're naturally going to build. It's just natural. They're calling it a Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme. It's all the same to me. I won't lie to you. Some people will say it's slightly different, but I'm going to just put them in the same basket, bro. It's all, once someone gets in first into the ground level, and then they realize and they set up the infrastructure, they know how it's going to pan out, what to do, the strategy. Then everybody else that's coming in is going to be the person that's going to be the new bag holder, and they're taking on more and more, I guess, less and less risk as they go up. So you put in your 1,000, you move up the ladder. Next person comes in, has to put in 2,000. You see how that 2,000 now means that if things fall apart, that 2,000 they put in, they're going to lose it. But you're now going to be able to at least hold on to your 1,000, if not 500, but something. You're going to be able to get something, because why? You're not all the way at the bottom of the food chain. So everything, when they say this stuff, just please, this is a way to just completely just confuse you and just basically have you not take a sensible stance and be like, you know what, let me put in, I've got certain amount of money, this is my wealth, let me put in 5%, 1%. This is not what is it? It's not real estate. You have to put in a certain amount, and it's a large amount, and you have to also have certain personnel involved, agents, brokers, or not brokers, but agents, estate agents, stuff like that. All these, people you have to go through, payments you have to make, stamp duty, all these things, right? Even with just Airbnbs, you hear all this stuff about people having to how to set it up. It's a long process, guys. With crypto, it's just straightforward. There's none of this stuff. It's none of this stuff. So yes, it's I will say all of them are Ponzi schemes. Don't just look at crypto and say it because it's easy to say, but it's easy. It's they do it to basically to distract you, to not have you make a sensible decision of just putting 1% of your portfolio in this market. Because why shouldn't you? You've got in other areas, you've got something here, something there, something there. On top of that, what also makes sense is that I just showed you the percentage gains, right? So if you put in 1% in it, right, in that, and then you're like, I'm more confident to put in 10% into Apple, Meta, I don't blame you. Microsoft, I don't blame you. 10% more. What you'll find though is, you might find in the next 10 years, the 1% you put into crypto has somehow performed as much, gave you, meaning you put in 1,000, right, into Microsoft stocks. You put in £10 into crypto. In 10, 15 years, you then find that the 1,000 you put into Microsoft has now got you, it's now worth 10K. The £10 you put into Bitcoin, crypto, whatever, is now worth 7K, 1,000, 10K, 1,000. Sorry, £10, 7K. These are the type of gains we're talking about. 20 million% in 10 years has done that. So we're saying it's the same 10 years. What can it do? I'm not saying that's what it's going to do, you know, and there's diminishing returns. That's a ideology basically within the crypto space. But I think it's for all space. It's not just crypto. It's just that's the first place I've heard it in basically, right? But the law of diminishing returns is, you know, is essentially a real thing. So it probably wouldn't give you. It's not going to give you as much as it did from 2011 to 2021 because the market was very, very fresh, and any small investments made big moves. Now it's now becoming a lot more mature, so it's not going to, these investments won't make as bigger impact basically. So, but still, regardless, that 1% was worth it, is what I'm trying to tell you right now. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It was worth it. So when he says a giant Ponzi scheme, guys, the banks are taking the people that got in first are now they're the world leaders right now. They're the one running the countries, not our governments. They are the bosses of our bosses. These banking conglomerates, they run the country. Like, money work makes the world go round. So don't let them, please. When you hear Ponzi scheme, ask them, okay, cool. So differentiate crypto, which is slowly but becoming, you know, starting to become a respected asset. The more, every single year that goes by, you can't deny it. Tell me the difference between that and when banks started. Tell me the difference with that and from when, I'm trying to think of when pension schemes started. In fact, like I said, pension scheme is worse because I know they came after banks. Well, I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm not gonna do it because we've gone over 1 hour. I didn't want to go over 1 hour, but it's what it is. I'm going to do the research now and find out pension schemes came after banks. Just to really think about how they put that service together. How they, and then they just started did it help people? I'm not going to say it didn't. It helped the first group of people. Must have been helped because you saw the numbers. Not everyone is good with personal finance, so it actually made sense. Now it doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't make sense at all. There's so many ways. They should be telling you, there's so many ways for you to be able to, you know, put your money to work for you. Why are you putting a pension scheme that you can't touch for years, bro? We're talking about decades, you can't touch it. 3, 4, 5. Don't do this, bro. Don't do it, bro. Talk about Ponzi scheme. Talk about Ponzi scheme. I'm skipping over this quickly. So I'm going to say that. That's one of the, I'm trying to give you reasons. Again, I'm not saying these are facts, guys. I'm telling you, please look into these things, man. Look at these things. Don't let them do this. Don't let them trick you out of your position. How can you use blood, sweat, and tears? You're now holding your money. You then put it in the bank, and then you also put it into a pension scheme. So you're just putting your money into places where there's no guarantee you're going to get the money back, guys. Remember, it's not your money. It's not your money anyway. Like, I don't understand, bro. The conditioning is world class. Why not? Why? Of course, I should expect this. They have the best people working for them, the best lawyers, the best psychologists, all these things. They have them to be able to set this up. The best advertisers. There's no underlying asset. Fantastic. So this is another argument, right? I'm not going to read this stuff. I don't have no interest. Basically, I've looked into many of these stuff to know what it is. I'm just trying to break it down for, you know, the ordinary person in a very just discombobulated way. But you should understand because, bruh, like we're the same, innit? Like if you need people to break it down for you like amazingly well, you know people to go to. I'm not that person, but since I'm just trying to show you I'm an ordinary. If I can do it, a baby can do this. If I can do this, a 5-year-old can do this. It's not to insult myself. It's to let you know that this stuff, bro, don't let them trick you out of your position. Baby girl, whoever I'm talking, don't let them trick. No. There's no underlying asset. What do they mean by this? What they're saying is, if we're to use an example, they're saying this nonsense stuff as if the American dollar, the US, the UK pound, all these fiat currencies basically have underlying assets. The only thing that they're trusted by is the stuff like, for example, the US is what underlying asset or whatever the trust it can fall back on. What the guys? Okay, underlying asset is almost like a guarantor. I just want to let you know that, just to make it simple. Because again, when we explain this stuff, it's just so long and arduous and all these like terms. Underlying assets like a guarantor. Now, some people have already got this already. If who doesn't know what a guarantor is pretty much somebody that is a supporter, a buttress for you. If you were to go and get money from somebody, I want money from this person. All right, cool. If I can't get my money back from you, who can I now knock on the door that is a trusted person that I know I can get the money back from? That's what a guarantor is. You are the fallback of somebody that goes and asks for money, right? And then they're like, okay, cool, we're going to give you that money. But if that money goes missing, who has that money that we can go to and say, you need to vouch for this person that's your associate and give us this money back now, no matter what. We're going to knock you, we're going to break down your door to give you. That's what, when you say underlying, that's pretty much like the same. It's pretty much in that realm of thinking. So underlying assets, what they're saying is, okay, cool. So underlying asset, there's no underlying asset for crypto, Bitcoin, but the US dollar was it 90? I'm not sure, but just Google President Nixon and you'll find out. I think it was 1944. I don't really care, to be honest with you, but the US it was removed from the gold standard. Gold was no longer back in the US dollar. That's what caused a lot of stuff to happen. That's why America, for those that don't know the story, please YouTube all these things for you to find out this stuff. 2020 times is when 2021, 2020, 2021 times is when I was looking into them basically. But right, President Nixon took America off the gold standard basically. So gold was no longer back in the US. The US essentially, the US had gold was dispersed amongst various different nations, right? I don't even know what made the nations tell themselves, yes, let's give our gold to the US and then we'll basically take their dollar and then we'll trust them to. I'm like, who was in charge at the time? Who was doing this? Why would you trust them? You know what they trusted them on? They trusted them on their word, guys. This is madness. Madness. This is exactly, and I'm saying this because what you're giving banks just, there's my money. Off of what? Their what? Madness. They have your money right now and it's not yours. It's what you think is your money. Me and them have an understanding that it's not yours. How is it that now they'll do something, they might not give you money back, you then run around saying that, no, they stole my money, and I'm there, what, backing them? I'm not backing them. It's just the understanding. I know, I'll look at them like, you fucking idiots. You've got another person. It's not your money. So these nations, gave the money, gave the gold. Gold was being held by America at the time, and then President Nixon decided to take off the gold. So people just before, because there's a reason as to why he was doing this, as to why he did this. Certain nations was, again, I'm butchering this explanation, but for those that are just trying to just get a street broke down version, right? Broken down, bastardized version of it. Cool. I don't really, right? I'm trying to give it to you like that. So they were getting recalls. People, other nations were saying, we want gold now. Oh, we want to pay for nothing or whatever, or stuff is happening. They just basically, I just need my gold. I don't give a care. Bank, I need my money. America, I need my gold. The people, now look how even this, if we now rewind back to here. Oh, it's feels like a Ponzi scheme. Cool. America's now telling these nations, no, we can't give you oh, sorry. At first they were saying yes, right? So the first few that came in and quickly got their money out. That's what happens in these, oh, Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. Get your money out before everybody else. And then everything in this world is a Ponzi scheme. Because when America realized that, oh my gosh, there's too much people now requesting for the gold back, they then stopped it. They stopped giving gold back to certain countries. That wait, what? Almost caused. What do you think's gonna happen from that situation? This is money. You're stopping me from being able to feed my children from your point of view, which is my people from a nation's point of view. Give me back no, whatever. Then they're trying to, create a whatever, and they created some sort of, I don't know the exact term basically, right? But they essentially, because it wasn't a peace treaty, that's completely something different. I don't want to, mix stuff up and completely confuse stuff. But essentially, it just became agreed that American then took the dollar off the gold standard. But they were telling them, listen, this is all based on trust. Yes, if you need a dollar, whatever, or whatever case may be, they just made an agreement basically where these countries somehow just accepted. So America now kept the gold that wasn't there, that was just being used as as a way of trade, almost to okay, yep, you owe us something, or okay, we're going to give you gold because here's our gold for whatever we're giving you, supplying whatever. So now they've now paid off their what, and they want their gold back. And even if they hadn't paid it off, still it's still their gold regardless, because they can pay you in other ways, in other means. You can't just hold it and then decide that, yep, now we've done that, we're now going to take the dollar off the gold standard. So now it's no longer backed by gold. So what's the underlying asset? Do you see where I'm going with this? When they right, I don't need to read this stuff. What's the underlying asset on the dollar? Do you know what it is, guys? I just told you. It's the trust. It's trust. It's word of. Is it the Federal Reserve? Go and Google it. Go and Google it, please. None of the stuff I'm saying is stuff you cannot find online. I guess the rebel Donegans are just given, a quick fire answers as to what people usually say. But people who said this, is it people saying this? Do people say, oh, there's no underlying asset? I definitely hear some people saying it, but it's more so who's feeding them information, who's letting them know that, oh, it's not an underlying asset, or who's letting them know this is a good argument to make. Is there an underlying asset? Well, okay, so there's trust, right? That's what it is, and it's the Federal Reserve, pretty much, right? Is pretty much like I described before, guarantors for the US dollar, which is not doing so well, by the way. I'm not saying it won't come back up, but right now it's not doing so well. So risk assets, is better to be in risk assets. The investments, the stocks, shares, and all this stuff is better to be in risk assets than the dollar right now, and even the pound. But that's another story for another day. So what's the underlying asset basically for Bitcoin? Well, to me personally, I've always said, first off, yes, it is the people that are in it, but that's not enough. As you can see, only 9% of UK people are in crypto or something like that, Bitcoin, whatever, right? So there's not much at all. Is it though? Is that how much people did you say? Did I say? Oh, 12%. According to 12% of Brits are current. Okay, 12%, not bad. I think it was 9% in Bitcoin. Okay, cool. So, but 12% in general in crypto, right? So that's not enough to say just, oh, there's the people, just because that's what they say for America. Oh yeah, the people, everyone's using it. Like people around the world are using it as well. So yes, it is the collective thinking and collective actions of the people that essentially allowing the dollar to operate, right? To basically be to continue being what it is. Though and that's the majority of people around the world have given its power. What's given Bitcoin its power? Not crypto its power. Not enough people. There's only a small amount of people that are in it when you look at it worldwide. So what else is giving it its power? Well, to me, the thing that you're using to watch me right now, the thing you're using to watch me right now, guys, it's the internet. It's a digital asset, right? That's powered by the internet. Now, because the internet isn't tangible, right? It's not something you can touch. It's not anything, but it's real. It is the most disruptive instrument we've seen in our times. The next thing that's gonna completely blow out the water right now, to me, is gonna be AI, right? But before that, like crypto is not gonna have the same impact as the internet has, right? How the internet became, and then how we then put hardware, we connected hardware to it. Well, we first actually we had to have the hardware first before we then discovered the internet, basically. But once we pieced them two together, it was over. That conjoining of those two worlds colliding, the hardware systems like PCs and whatever, and Microsoft computers and Dell computers, and then the internet coming at world changing. We've not seen anything like that since. Now we're slowly shifting to a new paradigm where it looks as though AI is going to go absolutely nuts. It's going to destroy everything. You've seen what Google VO, my last video, VO3 are doing with AI movies and all that stuff. It's gone absolutely wild. AI is going to become the biggest we've ever seen in our lives. It's going to disrupt every single market you could ever think of. It's going to disrupt our reality as well. You know, not just digital space, but that. If you ever want to hear anybody say nonsense and you want to combat them, you tell them the underlying asset, right, that is giving Bitcoin, crypto in general, its power and its relevancy, right, and why you cannot now see it as one that is not reputable, respected, sorry, and can be used for as a means of exchange or seen as a currency, right? A currency can be used within a real world. The thing that's backing it is the internet. Something that me and you cannot live without now. We might not be able to touch the internet, but the internet is our lives. The reason why mobile phones have become so important is because it has the internet. There was only a time, if you're old enough, you know, the only time, simple stuff you can do with phones. The texting was just green. It's literally like matrix type screens where you're just seeing green and, you know, black, green, whatever. Very, very simple, all like digital, like all like digitalized, or like pixel, well, not pixel, but digital, you know, like digitized type, like view screens. It looked thinking about it now, wow, man, the advancements is crazy now to see what we can do on phones. But the main thing that's really took phone to another level is the internet. I can only, there's no way, shape or form how the internet is not the most essentially focused and basically the reason as to why phones have become so prominent and so they are the most important things in our lives. Most people cannot. They'll tell you. I say this a lot. There needs to be a days where you just have your phone. Don't have your phone. Sorry, have it off and don't have it outside. You just walk without your phone and just go to work one day. This is very important because it lets you know. That will let people know just how, you know, how influential it is in their lives. Right. And with that, the internet is connected to all that stuff. So you might want to check your emails. You might want to, you know, scroll your friends' pictures and whatever on Instagram. You know, you might want to find out information, always the case. There is a device in your pocket which essentially turns you into a human cyborg. You now have you might not have the information stored in your head, but you have the information stored in this small device called a phone, and it's connected to the internet. So when they say all this stuff, absolute nonsense. Absolute not. Crypto has an underlying asset which is unbeatable. What does fiat? What does it have? What people? People already converting. People already converting to crypto. People are going to convert to AI. AI is only going to want to get paid in crypto. The hell could we look like trying to give AI money that AI doesn't operate, doesn't need the money we have. I'm telling you, fiat currencies, pounds, dollars, yen, you know, yuan, francs, euro, all are going to the absolute bin eventually. The digital, I think they will become stable coin. You know what? I'm going too much. I'm going too off. But AI, the most disruptive thing that's going to be more disruptive than the internet, these AI agents, right, that you're seeing that are able to operate and create stuff and do tasks for you and are also behind stuff that's that VO3 Google and AIs are looking to get paid in cryptocurrencies or at least digitized assets, right, that are on a blockchain. So when they say this stuff, please don't fall. It's another way to just completely confuse you and have you make decisions, not sensible decisions. Takes a small part of your portfolio, it's just a small part, and put it into, not diversify. Why would you not? Why? I don't understand why. It doesn't even make sense. Why wouldn't you? If you're going to go into others, you see that it's here, you see what's happening and the changes that's being made. Maybe you're not reading up on stuff in terms of, like I just said, AI is going to want to be paid in crypto. Do you not? If you don't know this, please store this in your mind so you know why you should be holding it. because you're gonna need to be, how many do you use chat gpt? I don't understand. Like, if you're using chat gpt, if you're using, forget chat gpt, something that's more close to us, if you're using search engines and you're using their AI services on search engines, right? Like, if you're using the AI companions to do your searches and so forth, and do you know how, do you know, like, these AI agents are gonna only want to get paid. It's not gonna be in the money that you make, and they pay you in your job role. They don't care about that. That's not how, that's gonna mean nothing to them. So this is what I'm saying. Like, to me, it needs to make sense when you say you're not gonna get into crypto. It just doesn't even make, if you don't care about it, you think it's trash, that doesn't mean you should then not want to put in 0.5% of your portfolio. Just put it in there. 0.5% could be £12.50. Bro, stop. You sound ridiculous. It sounds so, bro, I don't even know what to say. It sounds crazy. Someone that is, when I look at certain generations that talk, I'm like, I'm of a younger generation to you, but then I'm realizing to myself, I've been in the assets you're trying. I've tried to get into assets that you were in, more so being real estate. Unfortunately for me, in 2018, I was almost, I was almost a homeowner. That basically came like to an abrupt halt, basically due to trying to get the funds and whatever, and trying to use the bank to also, get a loan and whatever, which is not kind of allowed, but they didn't know at the time. But it was more so the timing, which I didn't, the timing window, it kind of messed up. I was kind of distraught. Looking back now, I was very lucky because I probably would have lost out on it anyway. Being how I was, and how I was trying to, it wasn't. I probably would have wasted my money, and all that money would have went, and it wouldn't have given me any refunds. But, oh, sorry, you couldn't keep up for the, for the whole 30 years. So the 5 years, here's your money. Never. They'll take me 5 years money, and they'll now start another contract with somebody else. I've lost all the thousands I've put in for that 5 years. Somebody else not going to start. And if they lose it, they're going to keep doing the same. Imagine using the same asset to just keep making flips, just making money here and there, making money with the same asset. That's what they do. That's what they do. So when people, I've tried to, get into that. When it didn't, well, I was already in REITs anyway. But I tried to get into that, didn't work. Cool. I've been in banks. I've been in pension schemes. I've invested in all sorts of stuff. I don't want to, again, tax man. I'm not saying, I didn't say I was investing in any sort of digital assets or stocks. So don't come for me, because I'm just a reporter. That's all I am right now. I'm a financial reporter. So that's what I'll say in that instance, guys. Right? Don't, that all underlying asset nonsense, don't let that keep you from not putting a small amount, because this is not, you don't have to put in 20k. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. That's not how it goes. You buy a fraction. You can buy £10. You can even, if a friend of yours has Revolut, like me, whatever, use your Revolut account, send it to them. You get free. You get, well, not free, but you get is it £10 or is it, actually no, it's more now. Sorry, £40, something like that. I remember doing that, and I sent my friend half. I'm like, bruh, here's 20 as well. I want you to basically look into stuff, basically start looking into digital assets, stocks, whatever. Cool. Use that £20 to do whatever you want. So, moving on, it's speculation, not investing. Guys, I just want you to let you know, this is everything. This is everything. This is somewhat tied into it being regulated as well, but speculation is, everything is speculative. The stocks you're getting into is speculative. I used to think about as to why they would always say, oh yeah, you shouldn't allow, not, people always, there was what do they call it again, accredited investors, where you have to have a certain amount in order to invest. And I'm looking back as to why, I wish to envision why they're saying it, and it makes sense now when you hear retail being us. Whenever you say retail, or unfortunately I'm going to use this term because that's what they use, dumb money, that's what they call us. They call themselves people that are financially literate, and well, the people that essentially control the markets. They're smart money, right? And then we are dumb money / retail is what they call us. So retail, I'm like, retail, when they lose money, they complain a lot. They start, angling for, oh, I'm in a lawsuit or this and that. When, no, did you read? Just like a bank, you're walking in not knowing you're walking into a contract which states that the money is no longer yours. So retail complain a lot without knowing stuff. So imagine they're doing this with banks, which is, it's not massive money. they're putting in themselves, right? But when it comes to and also it's a different service, right? Whereas when it comes to investing it into stuff like cryptos and so forth, you can lose your money and then they start complaining. But it's like, we probably need to make sure that they're accredited, that they're accredited. That these people are. Some people say it's a way to keep you poor and don't want you to get into very, very promising startups. Like, for example, when Facebook started up, imagine somebody that put in their 5K into Facebook then and left and treated it like it was a bank. So this is what I'm saying. Then you have to be an accredited investor. You had to make a certain amount. Now we could just break even stocks right now. You could just, there's like fractional stocks now you could just buy now. They've now allowed you to buy fraction. Everything has been fractionalized. So everything, the whole world has changed right now. So when you say it's speculation, they're right. I'm not going to stop you from saying that. It's a Ponzi scheme. I agree. There's no underlying asset. Again, I had to compare with fiat and also Bitcoin and see if that's one of an underlying asset. Can you argue for the other having an underlying asset, and what is the underlying asset? This is speculation or investing. I mean, I didn't say it wasn't. I'm just saying everything is speculating. Everything is speculating. Wherever you get into, you're speculating on it. So this is a very age old tired point to make, and we shall just move on. Basically, I already have exposure through index funds. Okay, it's not direct exposure. This is more for people that are 50-50 with it. So they're not saying they don't want to get into it, because you saying this is basically saying that I don't need to get direct exposure because it's done through a more like safer means. Okay, so I'll tell you. Okay, it's better to have direct exposure to it, for various reasons. But I'm not going to go too much on this one. I'll at least give one. So, okay, if that's how people want to get into it, I will advise you always want, it's the same way as how REITs, how real estate, and then real estate investment trusts, which stocks and shares, how those work. You're going to want to, that's exactly what this is. You're going to want to actually have stake in an actual house as opposed to just stocks and shares of it. Because you cannot now say that, oh yeah, I own that building. That's not how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I'm saying you're going to want to probably have direct buy it directly, but on exchanges. Or yeah, I mean, yeah, on the exchanges you can get, yeah, they don't sell it. But it looks as though when it comes to regulation, like I said, with the speculation stuff, it's speculating. It is speculating. Everything's speculating, but it now becomes, they try to say it's less of speculating if it's regulated, right? And you're dealing with somebody that's trusted, whatever. Well, it looks as though it's getting closer and closer right now to regulations for crypto. So they're gonna just run. They're gonna run out of excuses. What I'm trying to say, the excuses will just have to run out. This one, fair. I'll give it to you. You are trying to make up for lost time. This is fair as well. It's absolutely fair. But then this is very, very. It is very dishonest, right? There is a I don't know. I'm gonna just use the word I want to use. It's just snaky. How they've worded this. They're trying to make up for lost time. So it's almost like they're trying to say that you've not done. Let me read this one. Jeff was involved in a quotable life scandal. Okay, the hell. So what they're trying to, from what that first line I didn't complete, is they're trying to say that he lost a lot of money, and because of that now he's like, oh my gosh, a lot. How do I get back to it quickly? And now you're trying to do it in a quick manner. And I guarantee you, within here somewhere, they're going to be like, you're going to make mistakes because there's no, it's very volatile. Many people have lost money, and that's the argument they're gonna make. I've not read this, but I can only assume. Without getting in control of your finances, before you go crazy and invest everything at Harris, is it really too late? Have you used a retirement calculator and checked your numbers? If you feel like you are behind, if you need to make up for lost time, if you lost time, you see, this is not good strategy. Jeff was trying to lost time by striking riskier investments, so crypto stuff like that. Well, they're saying he was doing random stuff basically, but they're trying to now put crypto in that basket and saying it's one of them make up for lost time, that will make you quick. So basically, quick gains, overnight success is what they're trying to put it in. When it's like, no, it's like any other investment. Like, yes, you can make overnight success. Yes, we just said this, but at the same time, it's an investment vehicle that's been tried and tested. It's only because it's a very small group of the population that have been able to realize, amazing gains and crystallize them specifically. Well, yeah, realizing is crystallizing. So realize amazing gains. But that doesn't mean that, the others cannot and they're too late and trying to make up for lost time. No, it's just another investment vehicle. Like, that's it. Plain and simple. You hold it for long enough. Those that held in since Bitcoin inception, what, 2007, 7, 8, 9? I think it was. Let's just say 8, just in the middle. How much do you think they're going to agree with this? Obviously they won't. But even people that 15, 10, 5 years ago are up. I'm not saying it's going to continue that forever. It's not. We don't know how it's going to continue, but it's done enough. Is what I'm trying to say. It's enough for you to be able to say, okay, cool. Let me put in 0.5%. This is all I'm saying. That makes so much sense in the world to me because the risk is less. You're putting in money that, what I can guarantee you, right, is that you won't be disappointed. If you put in some amount, that 0.5%, for some people, that's £10. For some people, that's 10,000. If you put in 0.5%, you won't be disappointed. I can guarantee you, and I can promise you that. And this is from somebody that's not even, but my logic behind what I'm saying, right, is you put in the 10%, 0.5%, right, which is either £10 for if you're not, or 10,000, depending on, again, your financial status. You put in that money, and if you make a whole load of money, a lot more than what you put in, absolutely amazing. You're not disappointed. If you lose that money, absolutely amazing. You're not disappointed. It wasn't nothing to you. It was literally like you going on the street and losing £10. You're going to be pissed. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, searching whatever. But then within a week, you're going to forget about it. Or at least even if a week might be too soon for some people. Let's just say next payday. For those that are really, we're in a cost of living crisis. Next payday, you're going to forget about it. It's a very, very short amount of time that it's done. And you won't even talk. You won't even remember it. You won't even remember it to be saying I'm disappointed. See what I'm saying? It's like you've got nothing to lose here. So when people are saying, "Oh no, I'm not sure I should do that. It's a Ponzi scheme," I'm like, "You're a clown because everything is a Ponzi scheme." I'm sorry. It's just so. I didn't mean to, like throw out, like ad hominems. I don't. But come on, man. It's one of it's if not the Ponzi scheme that's the most worth it you've ever. It's the most worth Ponzi. It's the most worth it Ponzi scheme you will ever get involved in. So I'm not completely sure what the situation or what your reasoning behind it. The reason behind this stuff doesn't make when you could invest in crypto. Okay, so it's not this person is for it. Oh, okay, my bad. Oh, it's a person. My bad, guy. My bad. I'll just start. Okay, cool. So these are the reasons. Let me just go through the ones quickly because we've gone over an hour now. But I want to just see what else so let's see if it matches here. So people often avoid getting into crypto for several reasons. One major concern is speculative nature of crypto investments. We've covered speculative nature. Everything is speculative. Every single thing you go into is speculative. Even you get into a house is speculative. The only thing about these houses is that there are certain, I guess, things in place to protect you. So if things go awry, but everything is speculative. Pretty much, this one is the most speculative. That's what, if you put that makes sense. But yeah, everything is speculative. If you don't risk too much, it doesn't matter then, pretty much, right? as they often lack, so speculative as they often lack underlying assets. So they've tied those two together as they often lack underlying assets and rely on hope that their value will increase in the future. Exact same for everything else. What do you think is happening? When we're people that got into Amazon at the time, Jeff Bezos himself, when he created Amazon, he was confident, but he was hoping they could pull things around and make sure that the stock then starts like traversing up again. So this stuff doesn't, hope is this is what is quintessential for human beings in general, and how we just behave in the world. Like, we hope, everything is hope basically. Yes, if it works behind it, you need to put your works behind it, right? Because putting works behind faith slash hope is what's going to kind of solidify it more. That work we're talking about is you just doing your research. Instead of hoping, go and find out why Bitcoin is those that were able to become the banking leaders that they are today. They done the research, stuff that we didn't do, stuff that we weren't privy to. They done all that research, and look where they are. You didn't have information. You didn't have the opportunity, to acquire that information. It was never there for you. This time it is, and they're already seen as to why. Like, they're like, oh, so even if we gave them it, we should have given it then, because they were complaining and saying that banks are evil, banks are evil. We should have given it then, because the majority of them would have failed. Anyway, Bitcoin has been around for over 15 years. How old is Bitcoin? What, 20 years? I don't know. Yeah, it's a teenager that said it, or something like that. Anyway, Bitcoin has been around for over 15 years, guys. And still only within the UK anyway, 12% of people is in crypto. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? People just people just, when it comes to personal finance, they're like, bro. And I'm not blaming them. I'm just giving them accountability and giving them and letting them know you're responsible for this though. I'm not saying that life isn't hard and you have to focus and you went to school, you had stress, this going through here, life happened, maybe, things happen, health, or all this happens, but at the same time, you cannot now say, oh, it's there someone else's fault that your personal situation isn't great. That doesn't make it. Just come on. I'm telling you, they're making it harder, but you have to ensure that you make it easier for yourself, because they're not gonna. Why would you make it easier for them? Just think about it. Would you make it? So why are you blaming? Think about it. I want you to think about it. You won't make it easier for them. So why would they make it easier for you? Of course, it won't make it easier for you. They're gonna do all sorts of stuff. You have to take care of yourself. So another issue is the volatility of cryptocurrency prices. We've talked about that volatility. The only way to essentially conquer, right, your fears of the volatility and being acting emotional and making rash decisions is you need to essentially just have a long-term time horizon. So if you stay in that, like I just said, what do people in 2008, what do you think they're saying? People in 2011, 12, what do you think they're saying? People in 2018, what do you think they're saying? People 2021, what do you think they're saying? These people have the long time horizons, 4 years plus. That's what the crypto cycle usually does. People are saying that might not be the case anymore. I'm more leaning towards that as well. I don't think the 4 year cycle really, is relevant anymore, basically. But if you have a long enough term time horizon, you will start realizing that the volatility won't affect you, because your portfolio will be closed as long as you're, if you self, I was going to say, if you've got a custodian, if you self-custody yourself, you won't have to worry about what the person is doing with your crypto, whatever exchanges, Binance, whatever are doing, right? But that shouldn't be an issue, basically, if you're looking to hold it long term. Many right now need money right now. There is a time frame right now, which, what I'll tell you is this: a lot of people, again, from my reports, this isn't financial advice. It's not because I'm in it and I'm telling you that. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you because this is just fact. Retail are not in the market like that. They're not in crypto right now. They're out. So anyone that really gets in right now, within a short period of time, it is likely that you could listen. Go and do your research. Don't go and say, "Oh, this guy said." I'm just telling you what it is. You could. I personally, whether I will risk it or not, is something that taxman will never know. But the fact that not much people are in the market, and Bitcoin is you do realize it's been breaking all-time highs these past few weeks, just keeps doing it, and there's no one's talking about it. No one's talking about. So when are you gonna talk about it? You're gonna start talking about it when it goes to 500k. Oh my days! Wow, I was 2 months ago, I was at 100k, so I should have. And now they're saying that it's gonna go to 2 million, so I can get a 200% gain. Okay, you know what? Let me get it now. Crash again, and then you're complaining again. So right now, from what the experts are saying, is the best time. I'm not. So I didn't say it. The experts are saying, go and listen to people like Raoul Powell. Go and listen to people like Mark Yusko. Go and listen to people like Robert Kiyosaki. You know, go and listen to people like George Gammon. Well, George Gammon talks more about stocks, basically, right? There's many people, guys, that are out there, right? That you can just go and listen to these people, and they'll give you their own take on why they feel crypto should perform within this period of time right now. To me, I don't know, but I think they're telling you like within this 6-month period. I think it could be shorter, but this is why I'm saying what I'm saying to you right now. Cost of living crisis is an issue. You're looking for money as immediate as possible. I don't think anything else is going to bring you that type of money. Stock's going to run to a certain amount, but it might not be as much, and then it's hard to just look into it, because stocks may perform as well. You have to be very specific stocks though. We're looking at more at the tech stocks, but there are so many experts in this. Go and listen to them. Okay. The next thing they said was, so crypto, the volatility, which can rise and rise and fall dramatically, making it a risky investment for those looking for stable growth. Not arguing with that, it is a risky investment, more risky than anything out there. But if you put in a certain amount, which you don't care about, and it does move absolutely wonky, you won't care because it's not affecting you. Additionally, the lack of regulatory protections and the potential for fraud and theft in crypto space can deter many from investing. So what I'll say is, if you do your research again, if we do our own research, we'll find that in totality, the amount of fraud and stuff that's gone on within any asset class, will say it's actually more so the fiat asset class. More money laundering, drugs, I said, I can say drug smuggling, but smuggling of all sorts of stuff, whether it be illegal aliens, all this stuff, it's all done with money, and how people are washing their money, putting it into, I don't know, a quote unquote clean business, or they, wash their money, meaning like let's put it into like a hide the accounts as and its identity, or its whereabouts, and so hide it into like a clean business, like, I don't know, washing and drying in the what is it, washing and drying company, right? And make it look as though that's, I invested in that washing and drying company, when really dirty money that's just being washed clean, right? So all this type of stuff, guys, is done through fiat. And why is it done through fiat currencies? Well, because this stuff isn't trackable. You can't track fiat currencies. You can't track paper money. This is one of the main things that the governments around the world, right? This is the reason why they're actually pushing more towards the digital currency, which they probably, if you don't know that, you should know that. This is quite obvious, but if you don't know that's why it makes sense for them to push towards a digital currency, right? It's a stable coin. Stable coin is pretty much digital digital pound, right? The digital dollar. You're gonna hear this stuff. The digital yuan. All these words is that they're digitizing these currencies, which allow for them more control, because they're giving you that money, and then they have access. They'll have access, to accounts. They'll be able to track the money as well, see where it's going. They'll be able to stop payments going into certain people that maybe, I'm now going too dystopian, maybe too much, but essentially, when they talk about, oh, it's fraud and this and that, and the money being used for all sorts of stuff, and the theft in crypto, whatever, it happens, yes. But do you not? What you'll find is many people that are causing this, or the criminals, pretty much, it's easier to catch them when they're doing it within a digital space, because all this is documented, right? So the blockchain is reading every single step is being made. Now it makes, if it's because it's, you can't ever, a wallet isn't completely tied to a person's identity, so you won't be able to know exactly who did it, but it leaves a trail, right? It leaves a trail at least for you to, someone to be able to work along. Whereas, bruh, money, cash money, someone could just be, I could wash someone's card, it can give me money, and then people won't know where my money's coming from. So when they say these things, it's more just to make it very, very, just make it just to make it succinct. More money, right? More smuggling, theft, and all that stuff there, right? Right. Trade, illegal trades, illegal exchange of services for money is being done using fiat currencies, dollars, pounds, whatever. More than anything, crypto could do anything. They'll just, what they do is that they'll just polarize a specific story, right? A specific event that happened in crypto, and because it's, there's a lot of money, they'll then, you know, what is it, proliferate it out and make sure everybody knows and everybody's on it, and then it sounds as though it's one of the worstest things in the world when stuff has been done undercover that, bruh, the amount of like government agencies that have done stuff that we don't know of, the way they're siphoning money and using it for ridiculous stuff. You know what they be doing with overseas, where they're giving money to, bro, I don't even want to go into, I'm not politician, I'm not doing politics basically, but they talk, this is a lot of stuff is just, bro, it's when they condition us and we think in a certain way, we're done. And they have all the power. So you need to think about this stuff when they say that stuff, please. The fraud happening in crypto, it does happen. Nowhere near as much happening in traditional markets. So is there any few more? So some argue that the crypto market operates like a Ponzi. Okay, so we've covered a Ponzi scheme. Like I said, everything is a Ponzi scheme, guys. Every single thing in this world is a Ponzi scheme, pretty much. Anything. So, don't let them fool you on that one as well. Furthermore, the complexity of the technology and the need for a thorough understanding of the market can be daunting for new investors. That's definitely one thing that I will say. People say a lot. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be daunting at all. Guys, when you put in a certain amount that you don't care about, you'll be good. So it doesn't have to be daunting. What you do have to understand, though, that weigh up the options. Because it's daunting and I don't know enough, should I not invest, or because it's a double-edged sword, or because it's daunting, right? But it's very, very lucrative. Should I put in a small amount, right? Not risking too much and just see how it performs. Which one is the best option when you think about that? Stay away because I don't know too much, and I might. I mean, what is list the disadvantages of you doing that. I'm daunted, too much information to learn, so I don't want to get in. I want to learn information first before I get in. So I'm not going to step into it at all. I'm going to completely ignore it. Apparently it's firing up, but yeah, and then you wonder why you're broke. It's just that, how people think like this is mad crazy, dumb. What is wrong with people? Like this is how you think for real. Like, oh, I don't know. So it's daunting. There's so much information, but I want to be able to get everything. But you've not done everything and found everything about life and banks. What? But your everything's in there. Stop it, man. Most are going to be, oh my days. I cannot feel for people that think like this. You are going to be broke forever. This is just it. That's all I can tell you, man. It doesn't make the way you think, like the way you come to your conclusion, that it's not making sense. It has to make 2 + 2 has to make 4. Right? So when you see, okay, daunting, stay away because I want to learn more and I might lose all my money. Like as if someone told you, yeah, go and buy. How much is Bitcoin? One Bitcoin 50,000. Go and put 50,000. You don't even have 50,000. You don't even have a tenth of that. You talk what? Compared to, let me get into it, right? Though I don't know anything, right? But as I'm in it now, let's say you want to care about the money. Cool, put in 2%. Okay, but actually I care about this though. So I'm going to be looking at it. But the more you look at something, and the more you have skin in the game, right? It's going to force you to start learning about it. This is for anything in the world, in life. The more you put in, you're like, oh my days, I want to, okay, cool. It's going to force you to learn. Okay, wait, hold on. My money's down. Why is it down? You start learning automatically. Why is it down? Oh, it went down. Okay, cool. Because they're saying something about miners. What the hell are miners? Okay, because they weren't getting, all right, so the miners had to pull. Fair enough. Okay. All right, so miners are now something. Okay. Oh, wait, there's a whole lot of miners. Oh, I can be a miner. So I can mine this coin. That, okay. Is that what mining is? You start learning just from the, because you've got skin in the game. You've dipped your leg in the water. It's gonna force you to be like, okay, let me look into this. Oh, apparently my thing has gone up. Oh, why has it gone up? Oh, it's amazing, man. Yeah, I'm up. I'm up. You're getting results, right? Into something you're not sure of, right? But at the same time, it's also forcing you to learn. You're like, why am I up? Okay, cool. They said that this is what happened. And they're saying this could the same thing could happen in the next few months. Let me put in more money. Because it happens again, then I can make it's not going to have you slowly but surely. You can start putting in money, right? And it's not going to be life like altering money, but it could. But if it does perform though, it could be life altering for you. So this is this is how you could need to think and weigh stuff up and realize, okay, why should I should not do something? The reasons why, what is it? I need to find out why 88% of people are not in crypto in the UK. Your reasons don't make sense. It just, and it's making you like, they say words which is very insulting when you hear. They call us retail. Okay. They call us dumb money. They call us dumb money. The amount of rich people, if I was to Google this, how much people, it might come up differently and I might have to search in a certain way, but I'm just betting, I'm guessing. If I was to type in the amount of people worth more than 1 million that are in crypto, I believe it's going to be what? Let me just do it. Do it right now. What is the percentage of people what percentage of millionaires? I probably should put, because millionaires is probably a bit I probably should have put a certain amount as opposed to just millionaires, but it's difficult to pinpoint an exact, because this is just AI overview, just taken from a horse or like a stream, right, of sources. But it says it's difficult to pinpoint an exact percentage of millionaires who hold crypto, but recent data suggests a significant increase in crypto millionaires globally. Studies indicate that there were approximately 172 individuals worldwide with over 1 million in crypto assets. What? Wait, am I reading it? Studies indicate that there were approximately 172,000 individuals worldwide with over 1 million. With over 1 million. Okay, with over. But I want to know the millionaires that hold crypto. How many millionaires are in crypto? More recently, a current survey indicated that around 71% of high net worth individuals. So that's what I should have wrote. High net worth individuals. Guys, 71% of high net worth individuals are. Do you see the disparity? Like, do you see how not even that, flip it. It was 12%, right? So it would need to be 88%, but still, like, you see how the majority of rich people own it while the minority of poor people don't. I mean, but we are on Britpoint screaming about cost of living, bro. This is, bro. Like, this is, bro, guys. This wasn't, as you can see, this wasn't part of my tab to add out to add. It just made sense. This just made sense. The majority of people that are high net worth individuals, 71% of them hold crypto. Why isn't it that the other, what is that, 71? So what, 28, the 19? I don't know. No, that would be 29. I don't know. But why is it a minority? Why is it they don't? It's 19. It's 29. So stupid. 100 take away 30. 100 take away 70 is 30. Why is it 29%? Why aren't they called dumb money? Why aren't they called dumb money? it's not as though the ones that are the small percentage of people that are in crypto, whoever they may be, right? Taxman, nobody knows if I've not said I am, but those that are, they don't call them smart money. They're still dumb money as well. But they're working towards being smart money. All they have to do was just read what it says on the banking statement to realize what are they going to do with my money. The video has gone on long enough. Last thing I'm going to do is check. Lastly, the absence of central authority to manage transactions and the difficulty in recovering lost or stolen funds add to the risks associated with crypto. That's very, very true. That's the last thing I'll say. I'm not even argue that one at all. That one is just, I can't even argue about that one as well. At all. There's no way to get back your funds. You have to be very, very careful how you're moving. This is why it's very important. Maybe this might bring which I'm sure people are already doing already, but they might have to start. This might become a job for certain people, right? To become the I guess the custodians for other people's crypto if they don't trust, an exchange. The actual exchange is cool, and they don't trust themselves to manage it because they might send it, you enter the wrong information, whatever. Cool. Now you have a group of people. This could be a job opportunity, to be fair. Group of people that help those invested in crypto manage their money, and as they're managing it, whatever, they're gonna get a percentage or get paid in a certain crypto, whether that be Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever. This is what I'm thinking from that there. But I'm gonna cut this off now because it's almost 2 hours basically. But this was just one of the videos I wanted to make, because I know that people talk about people just want like a way out, but there's no simple way out. But the one that is a better more calculated risk, pretty much, because everything is a risk out here, right? If you want to get in Airbnb, it's not easy to do this stuff. People want to start businesses, have money in it. Yeah, let me put my starter money, put it into there and start making money. It's not easy. But the one that's a more calculated risk to allow you to you might make losses, but if you do enough research, you might make gains that will be the best you've ever made across all asset classes. That comes from crypto. People need money right now. I'm giving you a peep into the world of this. It's now up to you to look into it and see if you want to invest, because this is not financial advice. But I'm going to sign this one out, guys. Let me know what you think. This is one of them, I guess more, well, I'm going to say abstract. It's not abstract. It is kind of for me, but in terms of people, I've definitely found this information online somewhere as well. But hopefully this gave you some sort of information, and it will allow you to now really think about your decision when you mention or you decide that you're not going to get into certain things because of your uncertainty or so forth. It is fair to be uncertain, but it's okay to be uncertain. But at the same time, it's not okay to not weigh things up and do a full SWOT in order to come to a better, well-informed decision. So that's my take on it. But yes, guys, thank you for tuning in, and I am signing out, man. Have a good one.